Welcome to 21st Sports. Week 2 is underway, and we're talking the Atlanta Falcons at the Oakland Raiders. And they played this game September 18th, 2016, and it was offense aplenty. Of course, in the first quarter, neither team scored, but after that, they definitely got on the board and into the end zone, but it all started off with a field goal by Matt Bryant, a 21-yarder, to put the Falcons on the board 3-0. But then the Raiders would score and take the lead, courtesy of a 1-yard touchdown run by Latavius Murray, and that made it 7-3. But then the Falcons took the lead back when Matt Ryan hit Julio Jones for a 21-yard touchdown to make it 10-7. Matt Bryant kicked his second field goal of the game in the closing minute of the first half to extend the lead to 6 with the score 13-7. Falcons over the Raiders at halftime. Then in the third quarter, the Raiders would get into the end zone with a 31-yard touchdown pass by Derek Carr to Clive Wolford, the first passing touchdown for the Raiders of the game. They had that rushing touchdown I mentioned a moment ago, but that gave the Raiders the lead for the second time, as both times they scored, they took the lead, now up by 1 point, 14-13. But then the Falcons took the lead right back before the end of the third. With about 4 minutes left in the third, Matt Ryan hit Jacob Tamme for a 14-yard touchdown. Matt Ryan then took it in the end zone for 2, and that made it 21-14 as the Falcons were up by a touchdown entering the fourth quarter. Then in the fourth, the Raiders go for it on fourth down on the 2-yard line, and Derek Carr ends up passing the ball to Michael Crabtree for the 2-yard touchdown, and this game was tied at 21. Then, with about 9.5 minutes left in regulation, Matt Ryan has his pass deflected. It bounces up into the air. Who would come down with it? Justin Hardy. The heads-up play, an 8-yard touchdown, and the Falcons were back in the lead, up 28-21. And that was the play. The Raiders were missing Charles Woodson, as anyone could have come down with that one, but Hardy with the heads-up play, he makes it a touchdown. And so now the Raiders would have the ball. They went for it on fourth down. They had that touchdown on fourth down, the pass from Carr to Crabtree, but this time they get stopped short, a yard shy, turn the ball over on downs, and now the Falcons would add to their lead as Tevin Coleman rushed the ball in for a 13-yard touchdown to make it 35-21. The Raiders would get back into the end zone just before the 2-minute warning as Derek Carr hit Andre Holmes for a 6-yard touchdown to make it a one-score game once again, with the score now 35-28. But that would be all she wrote, as time would end up expiring, and that was the final score, and the Falcons hold on to win this one. They got a little bit lucky on that bounce, but you make your own luck, and Hardy was heads up to come down with the football that put them ahead. And then the risk didn't pay off a second time going for it on fourth down, as they end up turning the ball over on downs and giving the Falcons the ball back, and they capitalized. So a really hard-fought victory for the Falcons, a tough loss for the Raiders. Both teams now at 500. Let's look at the numbers here. Matt Ryan, 26 for 34, almost 400 yards passing, as he was looking to be in rare form, getting back to that form. He has played at that level before, and this was quite the game. So he had 396 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Derek Carr was 34 for 45, 299 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Freeman was the leading rusher in the game with 17 carries for 93 yards for the Falcons. Coleman had 12 carries, 46 yards, and a touchdown. And for the Raiders, Latavius Murray, 8 carries, 57 yards, and a touchdown. And then for the receivers, Julio Jones, 5 receptions, 106 yards, and a touchdown, led all receivers. And Hooper also had 3 catches for 84 yards, and Jacob Tamme, the tight end, had 5 catches for 75 yards and a touchdown. And for the Raiders, Amari Cooper had 5 catches for 71 yards, Clive Wolford 6 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown, and Latavius Murray also had 6 catches for 44 yards to add to his 57 rushing yards, giving him 101 total yards on the day. Crabtree also with 4 catches, 31 yards, and a touchdown. Of course, Andre Holmes had that 6-yard touchdown. That was his only catch of the game. Then we look at the defense. Emerson had an interception for Oakland, and McGee had a sack, and for Atlanta, Beasley had a sack. And the first down's 29 for the Raiders, 27 for the Falcons, but on third down, Atlanta was 5 for 10, 50%. Oakland 5 for 12, 41%. And they were 1 for 2 on fourth down, 50%. One time they made it was a touchdown. The other time they turned it over, and then the Falcons scored a touchdown. We look at total net yards, 528 for Atlanta, 454 for Oakland. And then we look down and we see at the penalties, 9 penalties against the Raiders for 58 yards, and for Atlanta, 7 penalties, 73 yards. So 2 less penalties, but almost 20 more penalty yards, 15 actually, but who's counting? And we look at the red zone, 3 for 3 for Oakland, 100%. Atlanta, 3 for 6, just 50%. So pretty good red zone defense for Oakland as they minimize the damage. But if the Falcons, all those trips they made to the red zone, if they were able to capitalize, this game wouldn't even have been as close as it was. Although they did end up by 2 scores before that score that brought it back within 1. But if they had capitalized off of all their opportunities, the game would have been out of reach. But you look at the time of possession, 32 minutes, 45 seconds for Oakland, 27 minutes, 15 seconds for Atlanta. So the Falcons getting a big win, their first win of the season, and they do it on the road against a tough Raiders team. So it'll be interesting to see moving forward what these two teams do next week. But as for this one, the Falcons are victors. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Which plays and performances stuck out to you? Thank you very much for listening. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you're having a good day and had a great weekend. And enjoy all the sports.